Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of Untold Evidence. On the 13th of March 1997, somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 people across Arizona looked up at the night sky and all saw the same thing. A massive V-shaped craft, silent, slow, big enough to block out the stars. One of the witnesses was the sitting governor of Arizona. He held a press conference 4 months later and brought out an aide in an alien costume to mock the people who had seen it. 10 years after that, he changed his story. The night of the 13th of March 1977 was unusually busy in the Arizona sky. The hale-bopp comet, the brightest seen in over 2,000 years, was at peak visibility. Thousands of people were already outside watching it. At approximately 7:30 p.m, the first reports came in. Witnesses in Henderson, Nevada, said strange amber lights were moving across the southeast. By 8 p.m, witnesses in Prescott, Arizona, were calling the police. A massive triangular craft passing through overhead. Over the next 90 minutes, those lights, or something like them, moved south across the state. Prescott, Phoenix, then Tucson. Witnesses described a single structured object, the size of several football fields, lights around the leading edges, stars visibly blocked out as it passed overhead. Total silence. Even when it was reportedly low enough to be, in the words of multiple witnesses, within a stone's throw. Then at approximately 10 p.m, a separate event. A row of brilliant lights appeared over Phoenix. They hovered in formation for several minutes. Then they went out one by one. By 10:30, it was all over. Phone lines flooded. Police departments across Arizona logged thousands of reports. The story made national news, and it was met by Arizona's then Governor Fife Symington III with mockery. On the 19th of June 1997, Symington held a press conference. Cameras were rolling. He announced that they had finally identified the suspect. An aide walked out wearing an alien costume. Symington removed the head, revealed the human inside, and told the gathering press, "This just goes to show you guys are entirely too serious." The audience laughed. Mainstream media coverage effectively ended that day. Witnesses, including Phoenix physician Dr. Brad Evans and Dr. Lynn Kitai, both with documented sightings, went silent. Kitai would later say, quote, "So many people are afraid to come forward because they become so ostracized." Phoenix City Councilwoman Frances Emma Barwood publicly pushed for an investigation. Her political career did not survive it. The official line was set, the case was closed. 4 months after the event, in July 1997, the US Air Force finally issued an explanation. Captain Eileen Bynes of the Arizona Air Force Guard concluded that the lights were part of Operation Snowbird, a winter pilot training program operated by Air National Guard out of the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson. The first event, the V-shaped formation, was attributed to 5 A-10 Thunderbolt II jets. These were known as Warthogs, from the Maryland Air National Guard's 104th Fighter Squadron, flying in formation, steady formation lights, not blinking collision lights. The second event, the stationary lights at 10 p.m, were attributed to LUU-2B illumination flares dropped from the A-10s at the Barry Goldwater Range, roughly 80 miles southwest of Phoenix. Skeptics, including astronomer James McGaha and writer Robert Schieffer, have published detailed analysis showing the luminosity of those flares at 50 to 70 miles would fall well within what witnesses described. And that apparent disappearance of the lights matched flares drifting behind the Sierra Estrella Mountains in the prevailing winds. On paper, it was a close case. In private, the governor still wasn't sure. For 10 years, Symington said nothing. Then, in 2007, on the History Channel program UFO Hunters, he reversed his position on record. Quote, "I'm a pilot, and I know just about every machine that flies. It was bigger than anything that I've ever seen. It remains a great mystery. Other people saw it, responsible people saw it. I don't know why people would ridicule it." He went further. "As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitively say that this craft did not resemble any man-made object I've ever seen. And it was certainly not high-altitude flares, because flares don't fly in formation." Symington said he saw the V-shape personally from a viewpoint on a peak. He described it as, quote, "otherworldly, with embedded lights along its underside." He explained that the original press conference as an attempt to calm constituents he described as on the brink of hysteria. There was, he conceded, another factor. In June 1997, Symington was personally under federal indictment on 21 counts of extortion, bank fraud, and creating false financial statements. Whatever he believed about the lights, he wasn't going to lead the investigation himself. Now here's where it gets complicated. The flare explanation, which is the strongest piece of the official case, only covers the second event, the stationary lights at 10 p.m. It does not cover the V-shaped craft that hundreds of witnesses tracked moving in formation across the entire state of Arizona between 7:30 and 9 p.m. For that early event, the official position is, quote, 5 A-10s in formation. Now this raises real questions. Witnesses consistently described a single structured object blocking out the stars, not 5 separate aircrafts with running lights. The estimated transit speed, Prescott to Phoenix, in roughly 15 minutes, around 60 miles, would suggest 240 miles per hour. Witnesses described the object as moving slowly. A-10 jets do not normally fly at 250 miles per hour in low altitude formation. There is also the question of corroborating data. No civilian or military air traffic radar publicly reported anomalous returns that night. No contemporaneous Air Force statement confirmed unusual activity. Lieutenant Colonel Ed Jones of the Maryland National Guard later confirmed his A-10 unit was in the area, but that confirmation came months later, after the public narrative had already settled. And there is one piece of evidence that consistently gets overlooked. In April 2008, similar lights returned to Phoenix. That event was confirmed as a deliberate hoax, a private citizen with helium balloons and road flares. Some have argued this proves the original 1997 event was also misidentified everyday objects. Others have argued it proves nothing of the kind. A hoaxer can copy a UFO. That doesn't tell you what the UFO was. Of all the major UFO incidents of the 20th century, the Phoenix Lights is the one with the most witnesses, the most photographs, the most videos, and the longest official silence before any explanation. The case has been referenced in The X-Files, in Captain America Civil War, in a 2021 Netflix documentary. Actor Kurt Russell admitted in 2017 that he was one of the original witnesses, flying into Phoenix Sky Harbor on the night of the 13th of March 1997. He may, he said, have been the first person to report the V-shape to the air traffic control. The official explanation may be entirely correct, or it may not be. What is documented is that thousands of people across hundreds of square miles on the same night looked up and all saw the same thing. And the man elected to govern the state was one of them. Thank you for watching. This has been Untold Evidence. Any questions, please post them below, and we will see you in the next one.